I matched with her in the spring. To this day, I still don't know who I actually met that night. Her name on the app was Rachel. There was nothing about her profile that stood out in a bad way. No over-edited photos, no influencer vibes. Just a normal-looking brunette who worked in marketing, liked hiking, and posted the kind of pictures that made her seem real. We talked for about a week. The conversation was easy, calm, almost boring in the best way possible. She didn't rush anything, didn't push. Honestly, it felt refreshing. We agreed to meet on a Wednesday night for dinner. She picked the restaurant. It was in a quiet part of town, slightly upscale, but still casual. When I got there, I texted her that I'd parked my car. No reply. I decided to wait by the entrance, checking my phone every few minutes. 10 minutes passed, then 20. I messaged her again, letting her know I was inside near the hostess stand. By 30-minute mark, I could feel people looking at me like I'd been stood up. The hostess kindly asked if I wanted a table. I told her I was still waiting for someone. She checked her screen and said that no one named Rachel had checked in. That's when a man walked in and came straight toward me. He looked to be in his mid-40s, scruffy, heavy-set. I was wearing a black hoodie. He asked if my name was Jake. That alone caught me off. Guard mine wasn't on any reservation. Primera CIDs. He told me he was Rachel's brother. He said she wasn't feeling well, but still really wanted to meet me. Apparently, she'd asked him to pick me up and take me to their place since it was nearby. Everything about that sentence felt wrong. I asked him why she hadn't just texted me herself. He said her phone had died. His voice was calm, polite, not aggressive at all, but the situation itself felt completely off. I asked for the address. He said it would be better if he just showed me the way. That was the moment my gut screamed at me. I told him I'd rather just reschedule and started walking toward the door. He stepped in front of me, not aggressively, just enough to block my path. He said Rachel would be really upset and that she had specifically asked him to bring me. I told him I'd text her later. He stared at me for a few seconds, then stepped aside and said, "Have a good night." The way he said it didn't sound friendly. It sounded like a warning. I left as fast as I could, got in my car, locked the doors, and as I pulled out of the parking lot, I saw him standing outside the restaurant, just watching me drive away. Later that night, around 11 p.m. Rachel messaged me on Bumble. "Why didn't you come?" I explained everything that happened. She replied instantly, "I don't have a brother." My stomach just dropped. Primera typed bike, asking what she meant, but she stopped responding. By the next morning, her profile was gone. That same night, I started getting notifications. Someone was trying to log into my email, then my banking app, then my Instagram account, all within a few minutes of each other. I frantically changed every single password I had and turned on every security feature I could find. Around noon the next day, I got a text from an unknown number. It said, "You should have come with me." I blocked it immediately. More messages started coming from different numbers, different area codes. They were short, vague threats. One of them used my full legal name. That night, someone knocked on my apartment door. Twice. Hard I looked through the peephole, but there was no one there. But I heard heavy footsteps walking away down the stairs afterward. I called the restaurant the next day. They told me that a man in a black hoodie had been pacing outside for nearly an hour before I even arrived. He only came inside when he saw me walk in. The police said they couldn't do much. No crime had technically been committed. A week later, I found a folded piece of paper shoved under the dumpster handle behind my apartment building. Inside was a printed photo of me standing in the restaurant lobby, looking down at my phone. It had been taken from outside. On the back, one word was written: "You." After that, things went quiet for a while. Months later, I finally convinced myself to try dating apps again. I used a different app, a different name, and matched with a different girl. But it was the same pattern. She asked me to meet her at a bar. Then, just before I was about to go, she told me she was parked behind the building, near the dumpsters. When I refused to go back there, two masked men suddenly ran toward my car. I slammed on the gas and sped off. Something heavy slammed hard into my trunk as I drove away. Then, there was another match. This time, she moved the conversation to Instagram. Her profile only had 2 posts, but thousands of thirsty comments. No friends were tagged in her photos. No other women were following her account. We were supposed to meet at a bar. As I sat there waiting, a man sat down next to me. He was too interested, too familiar. When I tried to leave, he grabbed my wrist and whispered, "I'm her. Please, don't go." That night, he followed me home. He banged on my window, A-side my name. Over and over again, "I'll be watching you." I moved just days later. I deleted every dating app, changed my phone number, locked down all of my social media, because the truth had finally become impossible to ignore. These weren't just coincidences. These weren't just simple catfish. Someone or maybe multiple people were creating these fake profiles to lure people into isolated places, to see who would follow them, who would trust them, who would disappear. And the only reason I didn't was because I listened to my gut at the very last second. So please, be careful out there. Always trust your instincts, because you never really know who you're talking to on the other side of that screen. Thanks for listening, and stay safe.